This Be Like Water sessions, first of all, thank you to Shihan Monaco, my teacher. Thank you to Shihan Callahan for being here, a distinct honor. Thank you to Sensei Sato for being here with us. We're gonna have a great night. Thank you to Sensei Kalish for being here. And of course, thank you to Master Dominic Violante for being here. Okay, we have just some really great stuff that's coming. Each teacher will have about 20 minutes. Shihans and senseis, with all due respect, when they get about 20 minutes, a few minutes before, I'll maybe give you a heads up, but I'm going to keep you to 20 minutes because I know you have enough knowledge that you could give us. Shihan's going like this to me. To teach us for months on end, but I'm going to keep it, I'm going to keep it kind of short so that we all have a chance to hear and learn from all of you. And what I will say, and again, looking across the board here, lots of amazing martial artists from different schools, different styles, different lineages and backgrounds. Come to this with an open mind, okay? When you leave here, you can decide what works for you and what doesn't work for you in your respective art or your respective arts. But if you shut down to new ideas and new tools in the toolbox, you don't put them in. You put them in by opening your heart and opening your mind. And of course, sweating and training hard. Anyway, I'll save my talking now so I can move into our first teacher, but it is my distinct honor. It is my distinct pleasure. It is my privilege and honor to have my teacher, my father figure, the person that I really lean on week in and week out as it relates to my path, my teacher and the president of the IFK USA, Shihan Mike Monaco. Oh, Shihan.
First of all, as I first go at this, so I apologize for any technical difficulty. I'd like to extend my thanks to Shihan Sean and his staff for pulling these sessions together. I've been in contact and been on pretty much all of them. And I just want to say how humble I am to see such the enthusiastic instructors sharing their knowledge and their information. What I'd like to do today is I'd like to step back. I've seen some great fighting technique, phenomenal tech kicks, combinations from some great fighters, great champions in their right for sure. But I'm going to start out with something that Hanshi Arnil, my teacher, my current teacher, has shown me just to help kind of get back to the basics, so to speak. So I'm going to work first on what's called the 6-point striking method. And this can be used a lot on your own because it's very simple, but it gives us targets. Right now, we're currently throw things and strikes in here in combinations. And again, hopefully we're visualizing when we're working and fighting that way and training that way in our shadow fighting, that we're using that image and that imaginary opponent there versus just striking in the wind, so to speak. So what I want to start out is I'm going to kind of show those points. And again, I always acknowledge and recognize my teachers when I teach. If it wasn't for them, I would not be here and I would not be able to show and share my knowledge with you. So the first thing I want to talk about again is these point areas. So I'm going to show, first of all, we're going to use Bob to show you these areas and targets I'm talking about. So first strike is number one, and to make it very simple, it's a 6-point method. Number one, we're going on top of the breastbone, up in the higher area chest to hit that nerve. And we're going to strike, and that's our number one on the left side. The right side will be on the right side is number two. Again, these are pressure points that I'm going to show you right after I hit these targets. So that's number two. Number three is the sternum. And again, we're acting and hitting spots, not just punching and hitting the body just to swing and say, I hope I hurt him. We're really trying to hit key vital organs and key vital parts to make sure we're doing the damage that we're trying to do. So that's number three is the sternum. Number four is over here, and of course we know this one. This is the liver shot. This is number four. On the right side is the spleen. That is number five. And last but not least, right between the navel and the waistline is the solar plexus. So those are the 6 points that I'm really trying to focus on so you know the numbers. And please memorize them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to get back here and kind of show now. When I hit these target areas, I'm using one part of my knuckle, not both parts of the knuckle. You can do that if you'd like, but we work a very, very sharp edge. You can work the side of the knuckle as well. This is critical because this does the damage, especially on the liver shot and also onto the spleen area as well. So again, very simple again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So when we're working this too, you'll see me use my foot and my ball of the feet, and we're gonna be moving now, all right? So we're gonna start out with just number 1. Now when I throw this, I'm trying to go over high with that knuckle. Again, these are pressure points if you push on these spots. And again, Hanshi had taught us how to find those pressure points with the index and thumb. If you go down here, you'll find those parts and those nerves all the way down to your toes. So he's working key on those 2 items so when we hit. So we're gonna work on number 1 first, which is the left hand. Now again, I can use left or I can throw the right. Number 1 is number 1. But for simplicity, we'll keep it simple. So number 1 with the jab, number 2 with the reverse yaku punch, number 3, and I use a vertical fist strike. Then I swing around and I use number 4 to the liver, and number 5, I'm going to the spleen, and last but not least, number 6 to the solar plexus. When I'm doing this, I'm using and shifting my weight on the ball of the foot so I can get direct power, and I'm going over with that 1 knuckle. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Shift on that ball of the foot with the striking arm. Make sure you lead on that jab, on that front foot. When you use that left arm, make sure you're pushing up on the ball of the foot. Use the foot. Very important to use that weight and body and throwing that power. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now again, for number 1, I can use either hand because I'm going to the right shoulder. So I can go 1 here. I can go 2 here with my left. For the sternum, for the number 3 strike, I can throw either hand. I can throw the left or I can throw the right. Obviously, for the liver shot, I'm going to use my left hand only. I can't use my right. It's switched to back fist. And then when I'm my right hand over here, I can use just my right hand. And then number 6, again, you can either or for the uppercut. So when I'm teaching and fighting, and I'm coaching for fighting my students, and I see an opening, then I can give them a number system instead of telling them and yelling it out so everybody can hear. We have this system that Hanshi put together. And how do we use our upper body strikes to be effective? That's what's critical. So I'm going to give you 3 numbers. I want you to take your time, and you're moving around. Of course, we're moving. So I'm going to give you a combination. Ready? 1, 2, and 4. Ready? Each. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Good. 1, 2, and 4. Let the hips and body twist and use your body power and that pushing of the foot with the ball of foot. Again, 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Good. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. All right, here we go. Now we're going to go 2, 6, and 5. You ready? 2, yaku, 6, and then 5. Again, 2, 6, and 5. Again, 2, 6, 5. Go. 2, 6, 5. Stay loose, stay springing, and use those legs. Use that hip and shoulder. 2, 6, 5. Go. 2, 6, 5. Squint. Let that body rotate. Let that body move, and let that shoulders and hip and using those legs to strike with. 2, 6, 5. Good. 2, 6, 5. Good. 2, 6, 5. Good. Good. 2, 6, 5. 2, 6, 5. 2, 6, 5. All right, great. Now we're going to go 3. We're going to go to 4. So we're hitting the sternum. We're hitting that liver. And then we're going to come through, and we're going to throw it to the spleen, that number 5 again. So ready? 1, 2, and 5. Again, 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5. So 3, 4, and 5. Go. Keep your hands up. Keep yourself moving. Go. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Good. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Good. Good. 3, 4, 5. Good. Good. Okay, now we're going to go 1, and we're going to go 4, and we're going to go 6. You got it? So 1, 4, and then 6. Go. 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6. Great. 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6. Now you can switch and go the Migi, the right stance if you want. Okay, and then you can work the combinations again. Now I'm going to go 2, I'm going to go 5, and I'm going to go 6. So, ready? 2, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6. Good. 2, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6. Great. So also just a little explanation, when I'm working these, when I'm throwing that first strike, maybe number 1, I'm trying to set the opening up to move that guard and that blocking arm to know to where to go to the next opening. So you want to keep this in mind. You may not hit every target that you hit in your 3 combinations, but it's just making the person block so you can set up where the next opening is for that number system. And again, it's critical to use power and making sure you're using, again, that 1 knuckle strike really does wonders. It really hits it. It really hits it. I'm not hitting straight on, as you know. I'm hitting on top of that nerve. If you push on top of your breastbones up there and press down, you're going to feel the pain. If you hit and press the sternum, you're going to feel that pain. We know the liver shot, right? We know the liver shot, and we know the spleen, and of course the solar plexus. Now, you can add any kick you want onto this. This is just a hand combination. And again, we work this on the bag. We work this on each other. We work this in shadow and clicker fight. So we have this consistency and standing. So now I'm going to ask you to add any kick you'd like to, and I'm going to pick another number out, all right? So you can do left stance or right stance, doesn't make a difference. So here we go. We're going to do a 1, we're going to do a 3, and a 5, and any kick that you want. So 1, 3, 5. Ready? 1, 3, 5. And throw a kick, whatever you want. 1, 3, 5. Good. 1, 3, 5. Ready? 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. Good. Now, you can add a 4th technique if you'd like. I usually keep it simplistic, kind of like jacks, for those who remember what jacks are. I keep it very simple at the beginning, and then I increase it, and I add on all the way to 6 combinations. And again, you can make this a good game with the students. For all the lower belt ranks, they love to have a chance to have input. So just ask them to pick 3 numbers, and they have a great time with it. So again, this is a standardized method of striking that we employ in the IFK. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and I'd let them move on, and I want to work the lower body situation now. So this was taught to me by the late Soshu Shigeru Oyama, who I have great respect for, as you all know, who was my teacher, my direct teacher for many years. And I wanted to work something in addition to the upper body. So we've been working a lot of kicking methods, but I also want to talk about how to use that kicking method to block with. So I'm going to use the Suni Uki, which a lot of you are familiar with. So I'm going to take my leg and use my shin, as you know, to block. Now there's different angles that you can do with this, all right? You have the outside or you have the 45 method. So I'm going to work the simply for the 45 method. So when I block with that shin, I keep my hands up, all right? Important to stop it, and I curl my toe down to make that hardest shin possible. And then I kick and push it out. So I'm taking that leg across, but I'm not just checking it, I'm also moving it to where I want it to be. So now I've moved it, and I have the object over there. And before he puts that foot down, I'm going to try to kick that leg. I'm taking advantage of that leg, trying to take the tree out at the base, which is the easiest way to take him down and take him to the ground. So again, block, push, and kick. Again, ready? Block, block, push with your leg, using that weight, and then kick the ankle. Good. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Good. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to show you just a little bit. Help me with the camera.
Ocean.
So as he comes, I'm going to lower on the floor here. When he throws this, I'm shin, and I'm going to push it out. And I pushed it back, and I'm going to go for that leg. I just add the one kick into it, all right? So now I have 1, 2, 3, and now I can add that nice little number 4 that I like to deliver. So here's where the hands come in if I want to add the hand combination. So 1, 2, 3, and number 4 with our 6-point striking. So again, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay? So let's work that combination, all right? So let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Dig into that lever. Drop that shoulder. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, on that kick, again, I'm going at the ankle to take the leg out and put the person down. Now, if I go for the leg kick, and this is very critical and important, when I kick for the leg kicks, I'm going to try to show you here. Turn it around this way. The muscle on the side of the calf, muscles are made like a diamond. I'm trying to hit the points, the smallest object at the top of those muscles when I hit on the sides. Those have the easiest way to do the damage on the legs, at the point of the muscle. Not necessarily on the muscle itself, but the base of the muscle. So and always when I'm looking at these muscles as diamond-shaped on their legs, again, for my kicking spot. Then you'll have more definite devastation when you strike with your kicks. They'll do more damage to the leg. Instead of just kicking the leg to kick the leg, we're kicking to hurt the leg and take the leg out. So important, critical when you do these kicks as you change the height. To the top of the calf, to the bottom of the calf muscle. So think about that as you're doing this. So here we go again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Good. So that's checking and using the front for the right leg, right Moashigiri, the Gedan Moashigiri. Now I'm going to go for the back leg and work the combination. Same kick. I'm blocking and checking. I'm pushing it out, and then I just use the left leg. All right? So 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to go with number 5, right to the spleen. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right to the spleen. Again, I'm using that side of the knuckle, don't forget, to really get that penetration onto that spleen. 1, 2, 3, and 4, strike that. That's a number 5 strike if you're doing the 6-point strike. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, again, you can use any kick off of this check. I just came to simplistic to work on the Gedan Moashigiri. And again, the importance of where you're kicking and the accuracy. Again, it makes a big difference on where you hit, not just hitting, as many of you know. Of course, a lot of the Sions, a lot of the masters understand it. A lot of the great fighters understand it. It isn't just about hitting. It's how you hit and where you hit and getting the damage that you're trying to really escalate onto that individual. So it's really critical to work these techniques and add it to your repertoire. They're very basic, and that's what I like about them. They're not very difficult. Even a beginning student can learn this. But again, teaching them the right way how to protect themselves. The low kick is used probably high percentage. I think we all agree. That we've been through so many tournaments. We've watched so many tournaments. Everybody prefers it because it's very easy, simple. And people just eat the kick. It's just one way of, again, trying to give you a dynamic. And again, from one of my greatest teachers, one of my favorite teachers, the late So Shu Young.
Yeah.
So I hope that's a good. I just wanted to give you a little bit of taste and allow the specific time and allow the time for the other instructors. So is there any questions? Any questions? For those who know IFK and have trained with Hanshi Arnil, it's probably a review for you. For those who may have never saw it before, I hope that it's been valuable to you. This is what's critical, that we're sharing all our experience and making sure we're sharing our knowledge. It's just a little bit of taste, as we know, to give people just a little different look. Again, we're going to see fighting combinations because that's something that all the young generation prefer. But again, it's important to understand the basic way of karate. And that's what's critical, to make sure that we're planting those seeds right, so as the young students come up and as the tree grows, that the tree is strong at the base. And that's why I like to go into the detail that when my teacher shows me that kind of specific detail. So questions, Sean, is there any questions?
So Shion Monaco, if I may, Senpai Mike is asking if you'll repeat the 6 numbers one more time. Maybe we can show.
Okay, so I'm going to go over the 6 points again. It is right above the breastbone, right in the center. And again, if you use your fingers, as I say to you, and you work your way down, as you work your way down into the sternum, you can take your thumb, put it into your sternum, and bring your index finger on and push down. That's the nerve. That's the spot that Hanshi hits. And believe me, when he hits you with that, you never forget it. Because it goes down inside. It goes into your body and goes through. Anything on the front of the breastbone, as we know, is like a coat of armor. But this is number 1. This is number 2. Number 3 is right in the sternum in the center. Number 4 is over at the liver area. Now, mind you, the liver is a big organ. You can catch the side of the liver, or you can hit directly on the liver. A lot of people just try to hit just in the center. But you'll get extreme damage when you hit the side of the liver as you penetrate. And, of course, the spleen is number 5. In car wrecks, I think those who are familiar with medical, usually you end up hitting the steering wheel and you damage, and you usually have that spleen have to be removed because it gets damaged by the wheel. It drives straight in there. That's an unfortunate accident, but again, the spleen is a very, very vital organ that when you hit it, you feel the pain. And again, number 6 is between the navel, the belly button, and the waist. Yep. Again, these are critical areas and spots that hit instead of just punching the body. Does that help, Senpai Mike? Any other questions?
Let's see what we've got.
You know, I teach all night, Sean. You know, there's Kyokushin is never.
I was just thinking to myself, Shihan, and this goes for everybody. Now that we've got you in the dojo and we know that we got you, that there's a good for us and there's a good for us. Maybe a bad for you, because now we know that we can get you and we need to have you for a whole night with us. Shihan, we're going to move to Shihan Callahan in just a second, but I wanted to ask you one question, Shihan Monaco, because those of us who know you and get to train with you, I would say that those of us who know you intimately, the wonderful part about your teaching, besides your experience, your skill, is also the stories and the amazing people that you have had the good fortune of training under that most of us just read about in the history books. I'm wondering if you may have a minute or two reflection on Sosai or Hanshi Arnil that you could pass along to everybody. Obviously, some of their training you just gave us, but a short little clip that, you know, because those of us, like I said, who know and love you, get to hear these stories, and it's as important to us, our training, as the training.
It'd be an honor and pleasure, again, in honor of my teachers. When I was a young boy, just quickly, the Karate Kid movie, for those who have seen it, if you've ever seen the book he's looking at, that's The Mastery of Karate. That's one of the books by Sosai Ayama. I actually can relate to that, because when I was a young boy and I got the first book, I was amazed, just like Daniel-san was, and dreamed someday that I would be able, not even just to be able to train and be the student of Sosai Oyama, but also to have him in my dojo and to be able to train with him and the times and memories with him. And each of these teachers add something special in a dimension. Sosai was very, very strong, very, very powerful man, as we all know. He brought power with his tamashawari and his strength and his conditioning, and just his body alone is what made him just a phenomenon, as we all know. So those times in Japan with him, when he hit you, when he showed, and just walked in the room, his presence was so superior. For those who have trained with him, I'm not the only person. Obviously, there's millions of people that have. But from my experience with him in the Hanbu and at the summer camps in Japan, were just incredible. Soshu Oyama, who was my first Kyokushin teacher, as my students know, he was amazed, and he was just phenomenal with his fighting technique. He actually taught, as a lot of people know, the Japanese team before they went to the World Championships. 6 months before, they would spend time, because he was the chief teacher of champions. All those people you saw that had won in those earlier days when he was alive, they trained in his dojo. He purposely sent them over to get the best fighting training. So that's what all my fighting is based off of Soshu Oyama. It still holds to today. So that was what his contribution to me was. And last but not least, my father, Hanshi O'Neill. He taught me the amazing art of Kyokushin. Not the turban of fighting, but the actual Kyokushin karate, the beautiful art it is, and the substance and the depth that it brings. And those who have trained with him, many of my students have had that honor and privilege as well. They know what I mean. The depth that he has in the knowledge of Sosai, and how he always respects and honors Sosai in his teachings at every class, and his description of what Sosai contributed and how Sosai was such an amazing martial artist. But that's what the third piece in the contribution to me, to my growth, was how extraordinary the knowledge of Kyokushin and all the tools and all the weapons. And a lot of people don't know, because there's no video of his 100-man Kumite, he used Kyokushin karate technique. Everything, not just Geidama Washigiri or Seiken. He used every tool, Tetsui, Koken, every tool imaginable in his fight, he had told me. So that's what's incredible, and that's what I really, really honor for him for, not just for that, but just being a great human being, as you know, a super, super human being. So I hope that's helped. I have many, many stories, as you know, and Hanshi has many stories we all still continue to enjoy. So thank you again, and I'd like to turn it over again to my esteemed colleagues. And I wish everybody safe. Please be safe and good health.
Thank you, Shion Monaco. We love you, Os, and we appreciate you being here. A deep, deep gratitude to Elijah, Senpai Greer, and Sensei Dave Sheets for helping us get Shihan all situated in the dojo. Now we know we can do it. Shihan Greg. Shihan Greg is what I meant. Is that who it is? It looks like it is. Shihan Greg. Os. I didn't see you there, Shihan. I'm sorry. Okay. We're going to move next to another amazing teacher. Wow, this night's just, my head's exploding here with the great people that are on. I've watched a lot of Shihan Callahan's teachings through the internet over the years, his demeanor and how he approaches teaching and his connectivity. We've found that we have a lot in common, including music. It is beyond an honor also to have you here with us tonight, Shihan Callahan, and just super excited to learn from you. So everybody keep their volume muted, and we're gonna rock into Shihan Callahan. Shihan, I'm just gonna unmute you here if I can. Give me 1 second. Let's see, unmute, that should work. Oh. Are you able to unmute there, Shihan?
Yeah, I'll unmute myself.
Os.
Can you hear me?
We got you, Shihan.
Well,
Os, thank you for being here. Os.
it's my pleasure. First of all, Shion Monaco and I have been friends for a long time, and we always have wonderful conversations whenever we have the chance to speak on the phone. And it's a pleasure just to share this with him just a little bit. He's a wealth of knowledge and experience, and so it's really just great to see him. And he looks healthy and strong, and I learned something today, which is fantastic. So, and really, really wonderful. And Shihan, thank you for including me in this esteemed instructors seminar that you're hosting for everybody. And I look forward to meeting as many of you as I can. What I like to do first, it's probably going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you guys a little bit. So because there's so many people here, they're going to be throwing wonderful combinations and showing their artful fighting styles, etc. I'd like to just at least start not the whole 20 minutes, just don't worry about that, but at least 2 or 3 minutes on Iken training, which is Kancho Oyama, who's my teacher, is very big on the Iken training, short for Tai Chi Iken, which is from China. And what it does is it works with the electrical system, it works with your breath control, and ultimately the reason we train in Iken in Kyokushinkan is to develop explosive power from 0 to 60. So I want to just do a short 5 minutes, probably 2 minutes in the actual position, but a couple of minutes explaining. The very first position is Tanto. In Tanto, the standing meditation is probably, there's several, there's like 7 or 8 standing positions, and then you have the moving positions, as you've probably seen Kancho Oyama or myself do. But someone's speaking, so you got to mute yourself, okay? Who's ever speaking, please mute yourself. Thank you very much. So what I want to do is just demonstrate and have you guys do with me the proper standing technique for all of the Tanto standing Iken positions. And when then we'll just do 2 minutes, nice and peaceful and quiet to start, okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to, as in almost all our balance is the foundation of karate, as we all know. So we want to be in Heiko Dutch position. We want to be slightly, our weight is slightly forward, just slightly, maybe an extra 10% instead of 50-50, slightly forward. Our knees are bent, very relaxed. Our pelvis is in, so we don't want to put our butt out or anything. We want to actually just kind of be really relaxed from the side. Our hands, we want to round our shoulders, so we don't want to be back like this. We want to reach them out and then bring them in about chest high. And we want to just relax our shoulders up here, rounded, about like this, okay? About this far away from your chest plate. Your fingers, everything's, you have to imagine a lot of these things, by the way. So a lot of it is the connectivity between the mind and body. So the brain and body are usually like this. The Iken training will help merge your body and your mental capacity. So this is one of the ways we do it. So you want to imagine that you're holding a wicker basket, or so to speak, something very light that you could crush. So you want to be very light with this area here. In between your fingers, imagine cotton balls or something, little plastic balls or something. So your fingers are not closed like a nukete, they're open, okay? And your wrists are light, your shoulders are rounded. Now the same thing, you want to imagine a ball between this part of your legs that you're not going to crush, maybe a water balloon, for example. So this is the position. My eyes are going to be gazing. I don't want to stare at anything. I just want to gaze in the distance. I want to have a slight smile on my face, so my facial muscles are very relaxed. As we know, when we get stressed or we have to strenuously do something, we tend to make a face, things like that. We don't want that. We want to keep our face relaxed at all times. For the breathing, which is the most important, obviously, we want our tongue behind our front teeth. And we're going to breathe in through the nose, down to our tanden, right below the belly button. Your lungs are huge, so you want to fill the tummy with air, and then you want to exhale also through the nose. So it's in through the nose and out through the nose. So the air is going to come down, circulate here, and then come back up through the nose. So it's in the nose and out through the nose. Ideally, you'd like to have about 3 to 4 breaths per minute. You're probably not going to be able to do that right now because your heart's going a little faster and you need to work up to that. But you want to inhale, exhale fully. So, and again, you do this with your eyes open and you're gazing, everything's relaxed, and you will feel strain here. The basic 3 positions are here, here, and here. We're just going to work on this first position here today, okay? But after we do these 2 minutes, I will demonstrate these 2 positions, so you'll have 3 that you can work on day and night. And ideally, what you'd like to be able to do is do 5 minutes to start if possible. I like to do about 20 minutes when I'm standing here and in different positions. I know people that stay here an hour, just like this. It's very similar to Iquan. But again, you're activating your electrical system and you're allowing your body and your brain to connect. So don't let your mind will wander, fleeting thoughts will come in, center your breathing. As soon as you start to think of something else, focus on the breath through the nose all the way down here. one last thing I want to mention, because I always forget to mention this. When we breathe in the West, we breathe in the chest, as you know. No good. In the East, in this kind of, in karate and martial arts, in an iken or any kind of tai chi, we breathe through the abdomen. So for the guys, I know we want to keep our stomachs in all the time, especially in the summertime, but no, when we breathe in, it actually extends. So when I breathe in, comes out. When I exhale, it goes in. The way to practice that, to make sure you're doing it properly, is to lie on your back. And it's almost impossible to breathe incorrectly on your back. You'll notice your stomach goes up rather when you breathe in, and it will recede when you breathe out. It's exactly the opposite of how we typically breathe in the West. So we really need to learn to breathe properly. Okay, so let's get in our position. Knees relaxed. Imagine the circle with wicker basket. Relax everything. Eyes are open. Tongue behind the front teeth. Breathe in through the nose, and you gaze. And we'll do about 2 minutes, and breathe as slowly as possible, but fully. And relax. I didn't have a timer with me, but I'm guessing that was around 2 minutes. So you probably feel a little tingling, maybe in your ankles, your calves, your feet, maybe your shoulders, maybe your fingers. It's okay, that's what you want. If you're here a long time, you feel the pain, or your ankles, like I said, or something, you just breathe through it, and then drop your arms, okay? Before I get into the second part of the lesson, so this is the first position. Please remember that and practice it. Second position, we won't go through, we'll just demonstrate. Put your hands on your hip bones here, like so. And then we're just gonna bring them out straight. Like Wolverine, the character, you want your fingers pointing towards the soil, towards the earth. Like there's knives out of your fingers dug deep into the earth, pulling your shoulders down, your trapezoids down. And again, like there's little wicker baskets or water balloons or something that you could crush, paper mache perhaps. And again, your shoulders are rounded. So you're not this way, it's the opposite. It's rounded this way. And you're slightly forward. So that's the second position, okay? Third position, Your hands are out. We know this is a very strong, this angle here, this triangle is a very strong position. So right around your tendon, again, pretend there's maybe a table or something there. And you're just here at an angle. And you're just resting on the table, your hands. Fingers up, not down like this, fingers up this way. So that's third position. These are the basic positions. 1, 2, and 3. Everything else remains the same. Your breathing, your posture, your knees, your feet, etc. It's just these positions that have changed. Okay? So I hope you practice that. I think you'd be amazed how much this improves your, believe it or not, your electrical system, how you move. There's a lot more to EK, and it's an art unto itself, as you all know. And if you want any more, if you're interested in this, please contact me personally. I'd be happy to share with you. I've been fortunate enough to train with Sun Lee Sensei, who's Kancho's best friend and teacher, and who's trained with the founder in this art itself. So I practice this every day, usually the moving as well as the standing. So now to the second part of the lesson. Last night I was doodling. I was writing as I do, so forgive me if I'm gonna sit. So I know that everybody is doing lots of techniques, and I don't think there's a lot I can show you, to be honest with you, like in this kind of environment. So I want to talk about a couple of things. I started noodling. I was just going to mention it, and it turned out to this. So I apologize, but I want to read through some of this because there's no way I could have memorized it. But like I said, I was just writing last night. And so I basically said the why, how, and spirit of training. And the average karateka or martial artist here in the States goes to a dojo 2 or 3 times a week for 1 to 1.5 hours per session, okay? Basically 3 to 5 hours a week. Let's call it an average of 4 hours a week. This doesn't apply to the Zoom right now. This is just typically, right? So out of a total of 168 hours a week in a full week, then you consider your sleep and everything. So you have about 112 waking hours per week, and you're training approximately 4 hours per week. That's 3.57% of your waking hours training. Just to keep it simple, it's 3.5% basically. So we work and we have family, some of us, so this is just generalities. But my point is, I hear and see so many karateka martial artists, bragging and saying how much I live for karate, I breathe for karate, karate is my life, and they go around wearing all the t-shirts, puffing up their chest, and it's 3.5% of your time. Okay, so keep this in mind with what I'm going to talk about. 3.5% is not a lot, obviously. So, but I hope you see my point on that. So I want to talk a little bit about Budo karate and the martial arts and what this really means for us. The fact that we're sitting here together, and Shihan Shan and the great Shihan Monaco, they're all here. This doesn't necessarily apply to them, but for some of you younger belts, and I guess it's a reminder for everyone. It's a reminder for myself, and it's cathartic, and this is why I tend to write a lot, because I have to continue to remind myself sometimes as well. So we're talking about a martial art in a Budo karate. So training in Budo arts has different meanings, of course, to different people, but I wanted to break it down. So I want to start with Budo, the martial way. Bu, the word, the first half of the word Bu, coming from the word Bushi, meaning warrior, but the full word Budo coming from the word Bushido, which is the way of the samurai. The way, of course, is being living by a code of ethics, Bushido code of ethics. But Budo comes out of that, and Budo really was an expression, or the psychology, if you will, of Bushido. And of course, the Bushido, the code of ethics, quote unquote, is loosely defined, and it really wasn't written anywhere before the book was written, books were written and all that. It was a loosely defined code of ethics in Bushido. And so I wanted to go through those as well. And these are my definitions, just so you know. I've taken a few liberties here. Just to know, for the younger belts who don't know, the word Budo is defined by the anagram of 2 crossing swords, which really means to end a conflict. Okay, so it's a self-defense art. is to end the conflict. And this is where, but Budo is more than that. And it comes from Bushido and the Code of Ethics. And I'm going to read some of those codes of ethics so just to keep this in your mind when you're training from here on out. Justice. Justice is making decisions for the right reasons. Okay, you don't just do anything. Your decisions are based for the right reasons. Courage to do the right thing and not always what's popular. That's real courage. Benevolence, meaning that if you have to fight, you're fighting for the right reasons, and that you show mercy at the right time. You know, you do what's necessary, and that's it. And then you need to show compassion, mercy, etc. Respect in all things, life, one's elders, and other people's belief systems. We live in a world where we're so divided, as we know. We're so polarized with people's religious beliefs, skin color, etc. We need to respect everything. Honesty. Being honest breeds trust and respect, which is what we need to live our lives wholly. So I don't mean holy in the religious sense, I mean in a circle sense. Honor. The warrior tries to be honorable in all actions and deeds. This was a highly thought of aspiration, of course. Honor was very big with the warrior. Loyalty was incredibly important. They treated each other like family. And loyalty also breeds trust. And of course, they needed to trust each other on the battlefield and off the battlefield. So yeah, loyalty was, I think this was about as important as you can get. Because if you don't trust someone that you're fighting with, then there's a problem, obviously. So those are basically the 7 codes of ethics of Bushido. And of course, like I said, it was a little bit of my interpretation on them, but justice, courage, benevolence, respect, honesty, honor, and loyalty. We need to feel these values, and we need to live by these values. Now that's Budo. Let's go into martial art. I want to break the words down. Martial art. Martial comes from military, of course, warlike. So there's certain way things are done in the military. One of those is you aspire for perfection in every movement and in everything you do, whether it's making your bed, washing dishes, delivering a work assignment, whether it's in your kata or your speech, and most importantly, striving for perfection of one's character. And how do you develop that? You develop it by routine, by habit. And habit and routine means you have to do it constantly, and you have to be aware of everything you're doing, and whatever you are doing at that precise time, you have to do it to perfection, to your best of your ability. And like I said, I don't care if it's washing the dishes, washing the floor, doing a homework assignment, you have to reach your personal potential in that. It's a metaphor for your life. It's a metaphor for who you are and to develop your character. So this is really what the martial arts is about. Okay, anybody can punch and kick, as many of you have heard me say, but this is the essence of martial arts in today's day and age. We're not living in feudal Japan. We're not walking down the street getting hit over the head or shot with an arrow. So we're using the martial arts for other reasons. Okay, that's martial. Now, so back to the 7 virtues of Budo. When you look at these virtues, you put them all together. What does that add up to? It adds up to one's character, which I just alluded to. So the second word of martial arts kind of confuses people. And Xian Shan is a musician, and I'm an artist and musician. I've been around musicians and artists all my life. So what is art? Why is karate a martial art? So what is an art? What's the definition of an art? So the dictionary, Merriam-Webster or what have you, this is the way they define it. A skill acquired by experience, study, or observation, or production of expression of aesthetic principles of what is beautiful, appealing, or of more than ordinary significance. So to me, it's about art is one's expression, unique expression. You're expressing yourself uniquely through this punching and kicking, kata, whatever we happen to be doing in the dojo. You're uniquely expressing it. But it's more than that to me. When you do art, you do art because you love it. Because you love it. You can't help it. You're expressing yourself because it's a deep desire. So you do it as often as you can and as often as possible. So this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. How much time do you devote to your training? 3.5%? Is that enough? Do you love it, or do you do it because you just feel like doing it? Well, let me just read a little bit more what I was writing. I'll try to articulate it better than that. So when I look at martial arts, and then more specifically at Budo karate, I think of all these things. It's not a hobby. It's not a sport, although there's certainly a sporting aspect to it, for good reason. But when I see 3.5% on average, someone training, then I have to question, do you really love what you're doing? Is it affecting your character? Are you trying your very best to improve your character and live up to these Bushido ideals and live in a Budo and live to the ideals of Budo karate? Are you seeing the big picture? Are you training or are you looking at it very myopically as a way to win a trophy, to show off to your friends, to get strong? Masayama said karate is Budo. And if Budo is removed from karate, it's nothing more than sport karate, show karate, or even fashion karate. The idea of training merely to be fashionable. So please reflect on this, question yourself. Ask yourself, why do I train? Am I training enough? The answer to the second question is almost assuredly no, you're not training enough. The beauty is though, the more you train, the more you fall in love with it, and the more you'll appreciate the art part. The more you train in the martial arts, the more you will genuinely become a Budo karateka, encompassing all the aforementioned virtues, thus achieving the ultimate truth, improving your character and knowing yourself, Kyokushin, the ultimate truth. So I'd like you to accept this lesson and have you reflect on why you train, how much you train, and the spirit in which you train. And you can look to others for inspiration, but don't rely on others for that inspiration. Stay inspired. Os. Thank you.
All Shihan. Thank you, Shihan.
Os.
Wow.
Sorry if I threw a curveball at you. I wasn't going to do that, but I really feel strongly about this. And in today's day and age, I think we've drifted, and I like everyone to try to reflect on these things, which are just as important as the punching, kicking, sporting, sparring, all these things. It's all one. You got the kumite, kihon, kata, but you also have the philosophy of the martial arts, Budo karate. So I wanted to share that with you. I hope I didn't waste your time, and I hope you take it for what it was worth, and that's all.
Not waste of time at all. Incredible, Shihan. Thank you. A few of the questions I had in mind for you, you covered. We love curveballs, everything. We love curveballs.
Okay.
But you covered a lot of it. One of my questions to you, but you kind of covered it in your approach there, was I knew that we're both musicians, and I was going to ask you a little bit about its music and its relation to martial art, but kind of touched on
it's one of my favorite topics to discuss, because as we all know, any good martial arts will tell you the rhythm is so critical and so important. Timing is very important. Actually, Shihan Monaco alluded to accuracy. And one of my mantras with my students is speed and accuracy. And both of those are a residual benefit and a residual result of timing. You know, how to block, how to counter, timing of the block, timing of the counter, accuracy. And that comes with your heartbeat. It comes from Iken to me. It comes through Iken and being quiet and aware. So when there's obviously a lot of students that come and then they're not maybe so gifted with a sense of timing, which is normal. Those kinds of students, it's always a little more difficult to teach. I'll make them go home, put headphones on, listen to soul to soul, listen to something rhythmic, African rhythms. I'll just tell them to really feel the rhythm, listen to their heartbeat, because the universe is pulsating. Our heart is beating. The whole world is rhythm. But if we're not tapped into it, we're missing a lot about our timing when we fight, counter, as I said, block, counter. So we can, if you're not that gifted in that area of rhythm, you can still enhance that by sitting quietly, meditating, and listening to the universe, because there is an ebb and a flow. Just like your heart, there's an ebb and a flow. If we don't listen to our heartbeat and then we're not really getting in touch with ourselves. Our mind is over here, our body's over here. And when the white belts come, they're all over the place, they're scattered. Our role as instructors is over time is to make the brain and the body come together like this. So, and we call it mushin, of course, in the martial arts, but there's no mind, you're just reacting at that point. The punch comes, you react. But that comes with training and with time and sitting quietly and self-reflection and all those things. I hope that answers your question.
Well, thank you, Shihan. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
And you, this has just been this is a dream come true right now for
Oh,
anybody who's on here getting to train with amazing Shihan. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the time and love you guys. And I'm going to stay for the rest of the training. And I really am looking forward to the rest of the senseis and the masters that are going to be teaching today. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well said.
I'm going to move to make sure everybody, if they can, just make sure you're muted. I'm going to move to Sensei Kalish here. Sensei Kalish, I'll have you unmute yourself for just a quick second. Sensei Dave Kalish is a dear friend of mine, a brother beyond a friend, multitude of arts. I like to call him the walking encyclopedia because he's actually not walking, he's usually striking he's a striking encyclopedia, but many different systems and styles. He's also a teacher here at my school, Fighting Spirit in Gardiner. So it's my great pleasure and honor, because I haven't had a chance to train with him too much because of this craziness, but Sensei Kalish, great to have you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me? All right, fabulous. So yes, my name is David Kalish. I have been doing martial arts for almost 40 years now. I have black belts in karate and jiu-jitsu, and I have trained fairly extensively in a lot of other arts. I love martial arts. I am a lifer. Met my wife through martial arts. So yeah, martial arts is a very big deal. So we're going to add on to some of the things that have already been discussed today, and we're actually going to get moving and doing some striking. So let's do this. About 10 jumping jacks on your own. Go ahead. Start off with that. Easy, right? So the things that I'm going to address today, I'm going to do a couple of items related to speed, rhythm, and targeting. And I'm going to use a concept called scaffolding, where you kind of add different concepts to other things. This is very helpful for instructors. One of the things that I love to do is I love to teach and train instructors how to get the most out of their students. And at Sean's school, we are very lucky because not only do we have a wealth of very qualified instructors, we have a ton of students, and some of the students are really exceptional. They take direction very well, and they do things at a high level, which is outstanding. So let's do this. The first thing we're going to work on is speed. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to see your front kicks. So pick a stance, any stance, sparring stance, fighting stance, make no difference. And just show me a front kick and show me how quick it is. Excellent. I can see a bunch of you. Fabulous. All right, time. Right from there, 10 jumping jacks, but faster than you did them before. Go. Yes. I see people doing them faster. Excellent, that's the whole point. So when we talk about speed, one of the things that I like to talk about is that speed is not just the actual strike, right? Everybody gets that. Everybody knows from the starting point, actually the point of impact, that's where you want a lot of speed. But that's not the end of it. You need to retract. You need to get ready. So for example, I watch a lot of mixed martial arts. And on occasion in mixed martial arts, you'll see people catch someone else's kick. Now, sometimes it means they know what's coming, they see it coming, they move in a good position, and they can catch the kicks. Other times, more often than not, it's because the kick to the target is very, very quick, but bringing it back is ridiculously and painfully slow, right? So they're only half fast. So let's work on that. So if I'm in a sparring stance or a fighting stance, and I'm here, I want all of my speed to start from here and end here. I need to deliver the kick quickly. I need to bring it back, put it down, and be ready for the next action. Whatever that action is, moving, turning, whatever the case is. So we're going to play with this a little bit, and what I want you to do is I want you to slowly kick the kick out, but then retract it as fast as you can, right? Do 10 of that on your own. So the kick is slow as you're putting it out, but then retract it quickly. It forces you to work on something you don't usually work on. Yes. You'll also notice that it gives you a good hint and good information about your balance, right? Your balance will tell you a lot in martial arts. Balance is key. Exactly. I see a lot of people doing nice kicks here. Exactly. And you can try with the front leg or the rear leg, makes no difference, right? We're working the concept, All right, so now let's play this a little bit faster. So let's do this. Actually, before we start, how about 10 jumping jacks as fast as you possibly can? Go. My wife is yelling at me. You should do it too. All right, so. So let's do this. Let's do the kick and either touch your hands to the ground or do a full burpee and then jump back up and get ready. So I want to see the full speed, not only for the strike, not only for the retraction, but for a quick exercise and then putting it all together. All right, 10 on your own, go ahead. On your own. I see some fast people here. Yes. And if you're under 25, it should be a full burpee. Don't make me come over there. Sean's pointing to people in the background. I know who's with them. he's nodding. Yes. Okay. Excellent. So this is the speed. What you want to do is you want to work on different aspects of the speed that you don't normally do. And as you do that, you will find yourself faster. When I was 25, I was fast. But if I had someone that trained me to be faster, would have been even better, right? Well, outstanding. That's what you're looking for. All right, what about rhythm? How about this? We're going to do 3 more. And what I want you to do is a 1, 2, kick, burpee. Okay, ready? Just going to do 3 of them on my count. 1, 2, and the burpee. 3. All right, I want to see, I want to watch. Okay? So what's the problem with that? The problem with that is you're listening to my count, right? You might be way faster than I am. You might be slower. It doesn't matter. What we like to do is we like to add to this, right? The rhythm and the cadence. So instead of having an instructor count out strikes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's basic. That's good. That's excellent to do, and you need to do that with beginner students. But a lot of times, your fighters, they've got that, right? And so if you tell them to do a 1, 2, 3, 4 combination, and then count for them, you're defeating the purpose, right? They're going at your speed and at your pace. So I want you to develop your own speed, your own pace, your own cadence. That's what you need, okay? So let's do that again. What we're gonna do is 3 sets, jab, cross, kick, burpee, all the way back up on your own speed as fast as you possibly can. Ready? Go. Yes, so much faster. Look at this. I see this. Yes. Exactly. All right. Perfect.
15 minutes.
Awesome. All right, so let's do this. One of the things that I wanted to address is that specifically the cadence. So making sure that you understand different types of speed, okay? So a lot of times what we'll do, and I had an instructor a long time ago who would count out the strikes but he would count them out on pads or clapping his hands. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to do jab, cross, kick. Right? Just that, jab, cross, kick. 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2, kick. But what I want you to do is I want you to match my clapping rhythm, and then you're going to see what happens when I change the rhythm. Okay? So really easy. Okay? Everybody's got that. 1, 2, 3. Go. 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 Listen carefully. Go. 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 All right, now listen carefully. You got to keep my speed, my rhythm. This works great in a big room with a lot of people. Listen to the clapping. Ready? Go. 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 All right, so you gotta hear that, right? And so what the instructors can do is you can set the rhythm and the pace and the cadence for the entire class, or you can allow them to develop that on their own. When I used to do a lot of Taekwondo when I was in college, big emphasis on kicking, and the instructor would go all the time, right? And what he was meaning was go faster, right? The interval between your 2 strikes needs to be quicker, okay? So let's try this. Jumping jacks again. 10, as fast as you possibly can. Ready? Go. Woo! All right. Fabulous. All right. So now let's switch to targeting. Accuracy, picking your targets, right? Shihan Monaco was talking about the targets on the body, right? The pressure points, and those are fabulous, right? The issue for me is where are they in relation to the person as that person is moving, and what's open. So, for example, many of you have a heavy bag, or you have one of the little bobs, right? The target mannequin, right? How many of you have striked the target mannequin and missed? No one, right? You don't miss because he doesn't move. That's the whole point. So what you want to do is you want to think about the targets as they're moving. So if you're working with a partner in sparring, it makes much more sense. But if you're doing it on your own, you think about those positions. So let's try this. So what I want you to do is I want you to do a jab, right? So you're going to do that jab and you're going to come back. Jab and come back. All right? And we're going to add to this with the cadence and the speed that we've already done. Do 10 on your own. As fast as you can. All right, I can see it. Looks good. So what happens if your partner moves, let's say 10 degrees or 15 degrees to your right or to your left, right? So a lot of times fighters will do this, right? As I'm striking, as I'm hitting my partner moves, and then what they do is this. They turn, then they strike, okay? Which is fine, because a lot of times you train all of your motions forward. But we need to be able to adjust that. So for example, you guys ever watch baseball? I'm sure you do. My dad is a crazy baseball fan, and he's very upset because he can't watch Major League Baseball right now. So he's watching the Korean leagues, all right? Fantastic. So when you have a baseball player, let's say an infielder, and they catch a ball, right? And they catch it in the air. They have to jump for the ball and catch the ball, right? They don't catch the ball, land, turn to the base, get everything set, and throw the ball, right? Defeats the whole purpose. The runner's already there. So they will catch the ball and throw, turn their body and move because the target is in a different angle, right? And a lot of times they'll do that before they even touch the ground. So I want to work on that from striking. So you're standing here and you've got 10 strikes, right? But let's say your partner is moving. I don't want to move my feet yet. I want to strike, 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 Even if they're moving to 45 degrees, then I turn. Okay? Strike, strike, and turn. Strike, strike, then turn. So what I want you to do is 10 strikes and slowly change your angle with your hand. Right? Everything else stays the same. Your hips stay the same, your feet stay the same. You can rotate your body, that's perfectly fine. So show me 10 strikes that go from right in front of you, 12 o'clock, to 3 o'clock off to the side as if this is a clock. Strike, 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 strike. And then you can. Show me 10. I want to see it, I want to see it. Yes! Yes, yes, yes. So I am watching. You guys look pretty good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so let's do this. Let's do the other side, right? So regardless of which side you have forward, right? Your forward hand jab, right? What about your cross? Can you do the same thing with the cross? With your rear hand? Can you do that to the opposite side? Of course you can, right? So let's do that. Do 10 on that side. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to the full off to the side, 45 degrees. Let me see, let me see, let me see. Yes, and then turn at the end, correct. Right, that's it, that's it, that's it. Yes, that looks great. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so let's do this. What about kicks? Can you do it with kicks as well? Kicks are harder, right? But can you kick? Kick, 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 kick. Do 5. Do 5. Okay? 5 kicks. Do it as a front kick, makes things easier. Exactly. It's a little awkward. It's a little different. You probably haven't used some of those muscles. Exactly. Do you have the same amount of strength? Maybe, maybe not. Do you have the same amount of speed? I hope so. That's what we're working on. Okay? So let's add to this. Let's make this faster. Let's do 10 strikes with the right hand, or the lead hand, let's put it that way. 10 strikes with the lead, 10 strikes with the rear, and then we'll stop and then we'll do kicks as well. All right, but do them as fast as you can. Your cadence, not mine. Do them as quick as you can. Go ahead, go, go, go. Harder on the left shoulder with the surgery. Good, 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 good. All right, time. So now let's try it with the kicks. 5 legs with the front kick, the lead kick, 5 legs with the rear. Full angles, try it. Go. Do it twice. Yeah, if you want to turn it to a side kick at the end, that's perfectly fine. Right, if that's not great for your hips, that's okay. Outstanding, outstanding. Now remember, you got to make sure that everything comes back to center. So watch, right? If my start is here with both hands up, I don't want to do this. Watch my left hand. It's too slow. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that everything starts and stops at the same place. Notice my body is being very quiet. I'm not doing this. All right? Boom. I'm going right back in, right back in. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so let me show you something that I use that I find very beneficial to pull all of this together. I'm going to have you take a peek. All right, so we're going to grab the camera. 5 minutes, I got it. In fact, I'm going to do less than that because I'm wrapping up right here, kind of pulling everything together. Check this out. So this is one of my favorite tools, and I've literally been using this. It's got to be almost 30 years, right? Not this exact one. Basically, all it is 2 tennis balls on a shoestring or a rope. And you create holes in the tennis balls, pass the cord through, tie them up, but then you can create little knots so that it can slide. Everybody sees that? All right, so from here, what I'm doing is I'm allowing my body to react to the targets. If I only have one ball, then it's very predictable about the way that it goes. Very simple. When you add 2 balls, they rotate by themselves, and it's much more challenging. So what I do is I try to put my foot, my front foot, relatively close underneath the center of the ball. I'm not starting way out here, that's too easy, right? So I'm staying very close to the ball, and then I'm striking those balls, right? And you can very easily see they go crazy, right? It reminds you to keep your hands up, and if you're very fast, you can do two at the same time. Boom, 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 boom. All right, it's fantastic. Or strikes two times, or elbows, right? All kinds of stuff. You could work your ducks, your slips. It's very helpful. It's very easy. You can put them anywhere. We should get a whole bunch of them for the dojo. You've got the great space for it. I'm hoping I showed this to the FSK team a little while ago, and hopefully they've been creating this for a bit. Whoa, get hit in the head, right? You gotta remember that. Anyway, so those are some of my tips. Hopefully you get a good understanding of some of the way that we like to do things, or I like to do things, where you take one concept, you add to that concept, and you keep building on it, right? That's the whole idea about having a martial arts curriculum, right? So for example, white belt first day, I wouldn't teach them a jump spinning back kick, right? Or jump spinning side kick, right? First day you teach them the side kick, right? After they get that, then you can teach them a jump side kick. After they get that, then you add the jump spinning side kick. It's the exact same concept. You can break down so many different things this way. It's very helpful. Okay? Thank you for allowing me to be part of this.
Yeah. Sensei Dave, fantastic. Thank you. Also, you also have someone doing great camera work in there for you. Oh, it's Sensei Katie. Look at that. Go figure. That was awesome. Sensei Dave. Phenomenal. Oh, really awesome.
Notice the rash guard, right? We got the rash guard in place. Right?
Very important rash guard to wear tonight.
Keep your eyes on Sensei Shidoshi's website. We might have some new ones coming. We'll see.
That was awesome. So Sensei, I just wanted to ask you a question, and if anybody has a question, just shoot it onto the chat, and we can go that way for Sensei Dave. But Sensei, I just wanted to ask you real quick. Obviously, I get to train with you a lot. I know you really well. I know the extensiveness of the different arts that you train. But I remember mentioning this to Verge last week, and I really thought it was an important thing because you are one of the key people, as Sensei Katie has been in my life, of opening my lens a little bit to a lot of other arts, particularly stuff on the ground, Krav, other things. For strikers who are very dedicated to their stand-up, you know, or vice versa, you know, what would be so maybe some key components to different levels, striking, kicking, you know, ground that you think are essential to your training that have made you such a well-rounded martial artist? Because again, a lot of us, you know, can kick and punch all day long, and we're really good at that. Some people here probably have great backgrounds in jiu-jitsu, but you know, just sort of what you think might be the bread and butter stuff that we should put into our art if we are sort of stand up more so than ground people.
So I have like a non-typical answer for that, and that's because my background has been non-typical, right? So I didn't come up in one martial art. I went to one martial art for a few years, one school, and then my buddy, who I went there for because he was awesome, he went to a different school, right? He moved. So I drove the extra 10 miles and went to his place, right? So I've done that many times. Then I went off to college and did Taekwondo, and then I went to a different college for grad school and did something different there. So I have literally restarted my martial arts training probably 6 or 7 times. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I have a great foundation. But for me, I think the true answer is go wherever your heart takes you. Right? If you are doing a particular martial art and you are loving the kicks, and you go to a school and they don't do kicks, that's not going to be a great fit for you, right? You might want to find a place that does lots of kicks. But you'll find different stuff. And please understand that the longer you're in martial arts, your tastes will change, and that's fine. right? So I've done lots of different things. I've done martial arts in so many different systems and styles, from Taekwondo to Judo to Jiu-Jitsu to Krav Maga to Kali, Arnis, all kinds of stuff. Knife throwing, right? All kinds of things. It all depends on your scenario. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you love.
Awesome. I wanted to give you one last quick second, then I'm going to jump over to Sensei Sato. I'll give him an introduction. But I did want to mention this. You and your wife, another good friend of ours, Sensei Katie, who is another amazing teacher and practitioner. You guys teach all over the world. And you were supposed to be in, I want to say it was Greece. Is that right? We were supposed to be in Greece.
We were supposed to be in Vienna this week.
For Hanshi Therian's World Kabuto Convention. So I know that that has been switched to a virtual thing. If you could just talk a little bit about that real quickly, because I know there may be some people that may want to jump on and train.
Yes. So the World Kabuto Federation is fantastic. It is a very large organization headed up in Canada and Ottawa by Hanshi Therian. And they literally bring together, for every event that they do, 60 to 80 very high-level martial arts instructors from all over the world. And they usually do it every year in Ottawa, like that's part of that capital complex. And then they do every other year, they do an additional big World Kabuto event somewhere else. So we've done it in Greece, we've done it in Rochester, New York. This weekend actually was supposed to be in Austria. So they've changed it to a virtual event. And the way that it works is you pay one price, and I believe it's around $28. It's Canadian, so it's right around that price point. And when you do that, you get 4 weeks worth of training materials that they will send you every weekend. And it's little snippets, like 7-minute videos from world-class instructors. And it's fantastic, and it's so affordable. It's a great way to kind of get into this event, right? And please understand, this event attracts people from all over. Thousands of martial arts people training in the same room at the same time. When we were in Greece, we were at the Gatatsi Stadium, the Olympic Stadium that they made for the modern Olympics, and it was unbelievable. It's fantastic.
An honor to be your friend and call you brother. Thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate it and everything you're doing to keeping FSK alive, man.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Love you, brother. Okay, moving right along. We're keeping it going, trying to keep on time. It's very hard to be the guy who has to keep senseis and shihans on time. I'm expecting lots of low kicks and punches when I see everybody because I'm that guy that has to do that and call the shots. But, you know, we handed down the line anyway. So up next, a dear friend, I've had students of mine that have had the the misfortune of fighting against some of his fighters at tournaments because he's such a great teacher and great practitioner. Gives me great pleasure to introduce one of my fighting and training idols, Sensei Sato.
Okay, let's first start with the kihon. Hey, Sanshin no Kyuri. Hey, go ahead. Hey, both hands out, right hands back. Hey, Seiken Chudan Zuki 1, 2, 3, 4, hook. Hey, go 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, hook. 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, hook. 6, 8, 9, 10. Hey, now hey, hands up. Hey, Jordan Maegiri. 1, 2, 3, 4, hook. Hey, go 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, hook. 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, hook. 6, 8, 9, 10. Now, hey. Yes, my name is Tetsuya Sato. I've been teaching. First started teaching Kyokushin Karate here in the United States about 1994, about 23 6-7 years ago. I started the Kyokushin when I was in college, 1988. So I earned the black belt and then came here. Since I've been teaching here. So when I first came here, yeah, I met Shihan Monaco, Sean Callahan. You know, back in the day, we all together. I'm really honored to be here today. They're giving instruction with the great masters. First, most of us are under quarantine and all in the lockdown. The New York is the same. Everybody is in lockdown. You know, I've been having hard time, you know, training outside. I mean, training with my student or anything. So I was always thinking, these days I've been thinking, what would be the best training? First, of course, the Kihon. Okay, the best training to do by yourself, Kihon Geiko. My punching, kicking, all the Kihon training makes your karate better and better. Okay. Second, there's a, you know, of course, the karate's kumiten karate is always, you know, train with your opponent or the partners. But under this lockdown, it's difficult. So I would like to introduce some of the practice I used to train in Japan. I'm like a height of 5'6", 5'7". No, I'm not a very tall guy, even in Japan. So when we first went to the dojo, like 30 years ago, the kumite there was nasty. You know, everybody, you needed the power. If you're little, you know, you're always beaten up. So I always practice how, you know, the way how to go around your opponent, not standing in front of your opponent. So let's get to some items. If you have a water bottle, this is the, you know, visible, that's why I picked. But you can use the water bottle or, you know, anything that stands up. You know, please get ready. If you have a, you know, if you are fortunate to have a heavy bag or, you know, the stand bag, that's fine. Okay, everybody get your object? Yes? Okay, raise your hand if you don't have any. Okay. So let's think this object is the opponent. Okay, place it on the ground. Stand right in front of it. Think this above this object. There's your opponent is standing. Okay, just to give him a stance. Okay, so show me how you attack your opponent while you are going around. If you think your opponent is standing, just show me how you do. Okay, Yame. Well done. Yes, I see. Some of you already know how to deal with, but I see a lot of people just standing almost in the same spot, even while they're moving. Okay. For your opponent, if you move, let's say 90 degrees, it's just 90-degree turn. It's not difficult to catch up with. Okay. Yeah. If you go 180 degrees, you know, now he needs to start moving around. Okay, which takes more time than just turning 90. Make sense? Okay, so I don't want you to just move once and then attack. Move once and attack. It's easy to catch up. So I want you to go one step in. Okay, let's start from here. Let's start from here. Okay, let's move to your left. If you're a lefty, you know, just shift to your left leg forward, all right? And then slide in and pivot. Yes. When you pivot, then your body is facing toward, you can locate your opponent right in front of the center. Same thing, step in, bend the knee, and then pivot. Then all of a sudden you can locate your opponent in the center. If you, let's go back. If you just move forward and you're looking somewhere else, your opponent is right here. He can attack you right away. So make sure you step in and pivot and change the direction quickly. That's right. Good. Actually, I see many of you doing quite well. Yeah, show me. Very good. Okay. Let me write down something. Oops. Sorry, I can't share my screen. It's okay then. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah. Okay, then skip that part. So my suggestion is to go, just to pivot yourself. It's really difficult to stop. Let's say when you step in, turn, then your body can go fly away. Okay. To make yourself more stable, step in, turn your body quick to, yes. I know you sensei, Shihanda, you're doing good. When you turn right on one spot, that's because of the gyro effect. You can stabilize yourself. And then when your body facing towards your opponent, your body is very much stable. So how you turn your body? When you step in, okay, go back to the original position, everybody. Slide in, and then my suggestion is, so slide in, push your right hands out. Okay, then, so let's say to protect yourself from the opponent. And then what you're gonna do, pull your elbow. That makes your body turn quick. Step in, pivot. See, now your body is more stable. If you're advanced, step in using this rotation, body rotation, you can attack. You don't have to, okay? Slide in, pivot, slide in, pivot. Okay, one more, slide in and pivot, slide in and pivot. Okay, good. I will count. So you go around the target opponent 90 degrees each time, which means 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're in the original position. Let's see. I want to see you. Knees. Chi. Hey, one more round. Chi. Very good. Now, even if you use these techniques to go around, again, your opponent can easily catch up with you. what's the timing? Okay, let's say your opponent is kicking here. Let's make it easier. Your opponent is throw get a mashigiri, block, and drop and then slide in. Slide in more. If he's having a hard time catching up, even more, and then you can throw knee kick. Okay, so let's go on the other way. Right? From here, use your right foot step in. Use your right foot step in and pivot. Right? Then keep the right foot front, slide in and pivot. Slide in, keep a pivot. And one more slide in, pivot. Right? Itch. Show me. Knees. Thumb. Cheer. Very well. Hey, now your left foot front. Hey, now the application. With one count, think your opponent kick to your left leg. Block. After you block and drop down, slide in, pivot, 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 knee kick and switch. You don't have to switch then. Kick and then come back, and now your right foot front. Again, your left foot front, take, block, he's a block, and step in, step in, step in, step in, and knee kick. Show me. In one count, come back, itch. Knee, block, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 steps. After you block, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Thumb, block, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Okay, somebody's doing advanced technique. Okay, don't make it too difficult. Here, your left foot, left leg block. Then when you drop, then your right foot step in, pivot, pivot. 4 times. Pivot and then come back to original position. Hizagiri, down. Okay, then next one, you block with the right leg, block, then sliding and pivot, 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 and pivot. And then hizagiri and come back. That's the easy one, okay? If you're doing opposite way, it's gonna be next step. Ready? I itch. Come back to original position, yes. Yeah, somebody's throwing the punches while they're moving, which is good, okay? But if you're not confident, if you're not confident, you don't have to throw punches. You can just focus on your steps. Thumb. Block and 1, 2, 3, 4 and original position. She. Block and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. I didn't mean to go the advanced one, but if you want, just like Shihan Monaco explained, after you block, you can just kick. Block and kick and step in. That's a little bit more advanced, but you know, if you don't, after you block, if you don't kick, your opponent is there. So if you block and drop your leg, your opponent is already here. You can't go anywhere, okay? But if you block and then kick, then you can step to the side, okay? I can see you, okay, good. You're doing good. You can add more, but let's see, hey, come right there. Hey, your left to front, hey, itch. Then, if you want, some, she, and hizagiri. Now your right to front. Knee, block right foot, slide in, slide in, slide in, slide in, and kick. Hey, thumb. Usha. Hey, Usha. Hey, go. I'm watching you. Yes. Good, good. Yeah, you have to complete. I'm gonna wait until you complete. Hey, look. Okay, good. Yeah, 5 more minutes. Okay. Then, okay. Let's for the people who's already very fortunate to have a working partner. You can do this. Face each other. Face each other. If you have a partner, yes. And person on the right, okay, start kicking with, yes, person on the right, start kicking with Buddha Masjid. Show me? Yes. And then the person on the left, block. After you block, then 4 times. 4 times. 4 times. Yeah, after you turn 4 times, and then the person on the left, get on Masjid. Get on Masjid. Person on the, yeah, after you complete, left kick, yes, and then the other side after you block, go around the other way. Then this training will continue until you get tired. Okay? If you don't have partners, that's totally fine. You know, with this small space, you always can go. Sure. Even you can get next to Shiro Mashigiri after the Hizagiri. Okay? If you have a partner, you have to explain to your partner what you're gonna do next. If you kick more than Geran Mashigiri, okay? Otherwise, you're gonna kick your partners. Okay, one more time. Right. Itch. Show me. Show me. Hey, knee. Hey, some. That's good. The partner should also turn. Try to catch up with him. Partners, okay? Pitch. Pitch. Whoop. Partner should try to, yes, catch up. Don't just stay. Hey, man. Okay, I think the time is running up. So, this training is quite a useful training when you practice by yourself, okay? Especially when you train for the competition. You know, I actually started doing this because I was little. That's, you know, I was small. That's what I said. But if you're tall, if you can do it better, if you can do it even better, okay? So this is for the big student as well. My student is much taller. He's like 6 feet, even taller than 6 feet. But he's using it. Okay, so this works quite well. And then if you go to the World Championship, you might see a lot of top fighters using the this kind of step works. Okay, so from me, that's all. Also, I pass the podium to Xian.
Oh, Sensei, I'm going to get the screen so I can see everybody here. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I have you, Sensei. There you go. Sensei Sato, thank you for being here, for giving us your spirit and your intensity. Sensei, I wanted to ask you a quick question before we go to our last teacher. And again, I'm thinking in tonight from a Kyokushin standpoint, Shion Monaco, Shion Callahan, you, Sensei, have had the great fortune of training with a lot of the legends, let alone creators of Kyokushin karate, all of you. And I know, Sensei, you had as I did, a lot of time training with Soshu Oyama. And I'm just curious to know for people out there who didn't have a chance to train with Soshu, maybe maybe a story or two or something about his training that you've taken, obviously in your movement and your intensity, we see that, but anything that you can relay to people that have only heard stories of Soshu and didn't have the chance to.
Actually, I never trained with Soshu.
Oh, you didn't train with Soshu? Oh,
Yes, I trained in Japan first.
in
And
Japan.
then yes.
So give us a story about training back in Japan.
We trained like crazy. You know, I was in college, so after school break, I'll go to the dojo and started with Kihon training and Shihan training. Then we went to our fighting training. Like we trained like 4 hours almost every day. I was actually I wasn't a really good student until when I was like a senior. You know, but and then when I was training for the competition, oh my God, we trained. Yeah, we every day we lost like 3 kilograms, like 6 pounds. So yeah, it was really tough. But we had the really strong spirit. You know, our Shihan was really pushing us so hard. I think the same as Soshu or any other Kyokushin, you know, masters. So around the time, actually, we didn't pay much attention on the techniques. Yeah, we did, you know, a lot of push-ups and, you know, barbies and, you know, the Kihon. And yeah, that's a kind of our Kyokushin training. So that because I was training for the competition, I needed to, you know, work on some, you know, techniques. So this is a part of our training, you know, method that I used to train back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sensei, it's an honor to see you and to watch you move and teach and give your spirit, especially when you started right away with punching and kicking, getting us moving. I'm thinking of 2 things that, and then we'll jump to Master Dominic here, but always amazing how when we have nights of training, how different things connect. And I'm thinking of what Shihan Callahan talked about that 3.5%. And in 4 hours a day, that's a different 3.5%. That's a lot more than 3.5%. And maybe that's the difference between old school and new school, maybe, but a little bit. But it's an honor to watch you teach. But I'm thinking as you're talking that, and I often say this to my own students, yes, technique. We all know that. And that's probably helps us with our longevity. I would imagine all Shihans would agree with that, if those of us who've been around a long time. But I've always connected Kyokushin to spirit. And it's funny you said that, you know, just training the spirit. There's an essence in the spirit that we train that I feel like is the calling card to Kyokushin karate. So, yeah. And you embody it. So thank you for being here, Sensei. It's an honor.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm gonna just mute this and come over here. Let me just unmute you, Master Dominic. Give me 1 second. I think I'm getting this correct here. Nope. Reggie, what's going on here? What's that? Oh, there we go. Master Dominic, can you unmute yourself possibly? I'm having trouble on my end doing it real quick. Yeah, good. We got you now. Master Dominic, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. So I'll mute myself in a second. You got it?
Yep.
Great. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce another friend in the arts I've known for many years through teaching at different seminars, and I've gotten the great fortune of getting to know Master Dominic, and again a deep wealth of different styles and another teacher who has helped me open my lens and my window to how much actually exists out there. It's a treat to have you, Master Dominic, here, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei.
We're ready to rock with you when you're ready, man.
Okay. So first of all, I want to apologize for some of the background. I'm teaching out of my basement as our dojo is undergoing a major renovation at this time. It wasn't available to us. I'll give you a little bit of background real quick on for myself. And I realized as I heard Sensei Kalish giving a background on himself, we have a lot in common. I too have over 40 years of experience in the martial arts. I just celebrated my 43rd year studying the martial arts. And I too met my wife in the martial arts. Master Janine is next to me. She's going to assist me tonight. And, you know, one of the things that has changed over the years for me as I've gotten a little bit older is that certain things are more appealing to me when I do my training. And I've tried to lend myself towards some of the softer things that aren't as hard on my body. So my background is I hold black belts in Kempo, long fist, white crane, Kung Fu, and in Aikido. So those three arts, sometimes I blend them together when I'm teaching. I'll give a little bit of some principles from the different arts as I teach. And tonight I want to basically give everybody some of the principles from the snake. We use the 5 animals in Kempo and in the Kung Fu system I studied. And one of the animals, the snake, which is the cobra, kind of give you a crash course in it. It's usually something that we wait and teach to advanced students because of some of the techniques that are a little bit more difficult to be proficient at. But we'll do some things from it, and I think you'll enjoy it. The snake is known for its lightning quick, you know, strikes, its movement, and so on and so forth. If you've watched like the remake of the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith, you saw at one point they were up in the temple, and you saw the practitioner up there up in a stance on one leg, and the snake was going back and forth, and she was moving, and she mesmerized the snake. And snakes, a snake when it coils itself and it comes up like a king cobra would do, they're basing their attack sequence on movement from its prey. So as long as you stay still, the snake will stay still. But as you start to move, or if you try to move quick, the snake would move quick and would dart out and probably bite you. You probably wouldn't be quick enough to get away from it. And that's what the snake principles are predicated on the movement of your opponent and how they move and how you would react to it. So some of the things that the snake is noted for are what we call in Kempo and in Kung Fu are poison hand strikes. And that means using the tips of the fingers. Some of you may call this a spear hand poke or a spear strike. It's the tips of the fingers are all held together. Sometimes they're using the thumb, and the thumb goes to areas of the fingertip strikes all go to vital areas. And in Kung Fu, the Chinese would use this to defeat much larger and stronger opponents by striking vital areas, the eyes, the throat, the groin. The thumb can be used into the ribs. Thumb can be used into the sternum and to the temple, can also be used to the eye. Another strike that we use is called a snake bite strike, which is, you can see the top fingers look like fangs, and that's used to seize. Can grab like the carotid artery with it. It's used to pluck an eye out of someone's head. It's used to strike to the groin, and it's a seizing type of strike. So not only does it strike, but it strikes and it latches. So like I said, it's great for the carotid artery and cutting off the blood flow to the brain. So I'm going to show you a couple of different principles from the crane, and one of the principles from the crane, from the snake, is its back stance. Or if you have a cat stance, it's similar to a cat stance where you shift about 80 to 90% of your weight on the back leg, and this is considered coiling. And coiling means I go back and I'm ready to spring off that back leg because I shifted all the weight to it. So one of the principles when the snake blocks, it does different things when it blocks. When a punch comes in, the first block will intercept and the second one will clear it. When I put those together, and you can see it's shifting her weight by putting weight on the arm that's punching in. So punch and slow. The first arm intercepts and the second one clears it. And that would clear it for strikes, eyes, throat, and groin, and using just the tips of my fingers to strike those vital areas. So again, so as the punch comes in, I'm using a 1-2 motion, that circular motion. And as I intercept and clear, it leaves the person wide open and off balance, kind of almost falling into the first strike that goes in. Now, if I do this to the outside, this would be here to the outside, and this acts as a trap. And you can see the way I'm holding my arms. This would be the body of the snake. This would be the head. So if I go into that stance I talked about before, you can see I'm kind of wavering a little bit, and that's a ready position where I can spring off and strike. Keeping the arms in this position is how I'm using my blocks. And this can also work off of a rounded punch. As the rounded punch comes in, you can see that rounded punch would get caught here, and this shape of my arm is what can stop that strike. If I go to the outside, I could pull as a trap and also pull and use different strikes to the body. Now, when we work on the snake does use kicks. Most people think that the snake doesn't use kicks, but it does. And a lot of times it uses the tips of the toes to dig into the solar plexus, the groin, the insides of the thigh. And sometimes the foot is a rounded motion to my foot. And I don't know if you can see that on the screen. But using low kicks to the groin and the inside of the thigh. And we know inside the thigh we have the femoral artery, and we affect that. And by kicking that, sometimes it takes the legs out from a person and affects their balance. But of course, the strikes to the groin are most effective. Also, curving the foot in like that's almost like a reverse roundhouse kick, or almost like doing a crescent or reverse crescent kick. The leg comes in, and you can dig into the ribs with it. If you're flexible enough, it can go to the temple, the face, the neck, and so on and so forth. So the snake is very deceptive on how it works. But again, it's predicated off my opponent's move. So if I go into a ready position, I'm going to wait for them to make their move before I counter that. Sometimes we know that in certain styles or systems or certain techniques or even animal principles, sometimes the animal is more aggressive, and it's the aggressor, and it carries the attack and brings the attack to the opponent. It doesn't wait. The snake's a little bit different on that. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that, when you practice these, that 1-2 motion is something that can also be done as a strike to the face at the same time you're blocking. This would go right across the eyes and rake across the eyes. And that is the first block would intercept, and as I clear, I'm clearing and striking the eyes at the same time, and then follow through with my other strikes. And you can see coming in with several strikes to the vital areas, the eyes, the throat, each side of the windpipe, and so on. All right, so I'm going to show you something. The Kung Fu systems like to give their techniques really cool names sometimes. So we're going to practice what's called snake in a tree, snake in the grass. High snake, low snake, right? We know that snakes can slither along the grass. We know sometimes, if you watch nature shows, snakes sometimes can go up in the trees and the jungles and so on. So this is called snake in the tree and snake in the grass. And what this does, the high snake, the snake in the tree, when a punch comes in, just falls. And you can see where it's having an effect on my partner. It's knocking her off balance, and all it's doing is just kind of dropping. So if you've ever practiced iron palm techniques for breaking, you know that when you practice, you're just letting the weight of the arm drop, not putting any power on it when you use an iron palm bag. And that's what this is. It's called a heavy hand block or a heavy hand strike. So when it comes in, it drops. Now watch what it'll do. This is a snake, so it's very flexible. It'll wrap, and now I have an arm bar. So if I put it all together, I have a lock. Now I can use knees. I can shoot those to the back of the neck. I can even wrap, get that neck trapped in there, twist up the whole body. Again, as the punch comes in, and all this does is just follows through, one, and wraps. And now I have an arm bar. Now, because the snake's not really noted for using its knees, on the street, obviously this would be a follow through with the knees, right? This could be to the body and so on. You might strike to the face with the knee, drop that shuto on the back of the head. But this drops. Just the weight of the arm drops. So try that a few times. Snake in the tree, snake in the grass, and this is going to drop and wrap, drop and circle. So it'll go clockwise as it circles. This would be against a straight right-handed punch. Drops and circles. Now when you do this type of an arm bar, they're right on the elbow joint, right? And this could be done as a break and snap. So I could trap it and break the elbow, or trap to control the person and then follow up with other strikes, right? So with about 80% of the weight on the back leg, this would drop and wrap. If everybody just try that a couple of times, watch. Drops, comes around, good, good, nice. All right, so when you put this together with a straight punch or even a rounded punch, if the punch is rounded, it still works because the arm blocks the path of the punch. Okay? The snake can even do some techniques or principles off of static attacks, so chokes and grabs and so on and so forth. So as we'll find it. So as you're being choked in the front, we know that we have to react quickly because you have about 3 to 4 seconds to react from being choked, or you start to become incapacitated. And normally I tell my students, listen, when you practice choking, really grab the neck tight, just don't choke each other because you want to make it as realistic as possible. Being choked from the front of the back is usually it's an attack out of anger. Someone's really angry at you and they're going to be wringing your neck. They're going to have a really tight grip on your neck. So I want them to practice to be more realistic and never put their hands on each other's shoulders to represent a choke, but to have the hands around the throat. And all the hands are going to do, they're going to come straight through. And as they do, they're going to come up and around. And now I have her trapped in this position. I have both elbows trapped and I'm lifting her off the ground. And when you come around in this position, you're going to bring your hands together. And you can see the front knuckles right here. And what those knuckles are going to do is going to do a sternum rub. They're going to come right across the sternum. And if you had a partner and you were trying this on a partner, it's very painful. So we know the only thing that covers the sternum is skin. There's no muscle there. So I would bend my knees a little bit. I would spring around. You can see how she's backing up when I go to apply that sternum rub. And this is just the snake using its ability to wrap and trap. And then you would grind this in. If you're lucky enough to find a partner that'll let you do this to them, they'll probably let you do it to them once or twice and that's it, because it's very painful. Everybody likes to do it, they just don't like to have it done on themselves. So one more time, as I bend my knees a little bit so I can drive up with my weight, trap those arms, come right in. Now if you wanted to, you can see how close I am, turn this way a little bit, to her throat. I can even extend my fingers and dig fingers into the throat. And now I'm back to poison hand again, using the fingertips. And I'm right into the notch, digging my fingers in and down. And what that does is that buckles the knees and upsets the balance. Now we know that the body always moves away from pain and moves towards pleasure. So anything where you're grinding on the sternum or pressing on the windpipe, the person is going to automatically, instinctively start to back up. And that's what you want. You want to be able to create some distance so now you can follow through with other strikes. The hardest part about working with the snake is its ability to dodge and weave punches without blocking, without using the hands. And we'll practice drills like that in the dojo where the students have to keep their hands by their side. And as the punch comes in, I move away from it by leaning and dodging. I step offline from the punch, but I'm really not stepping. All I did was pivot my feet. And yes, does the punch come close to you? Very close. So as the punch comes in, and what I'm doing is I'm letting my spine go very loose, like a snake would move, right? Has that suppleness to it, right? And that's what we're doing. Now think about if you've done drills like this before, as the punch comes in, I can follow through. And look where I have the arm. I've already done a trap here. So if I was to do a strike, boom, as I do the strike and her body starts to move this way, I have the elbow up against my chest, and now I pivot, and I can snap the arm. So this arm acts as the trapping arm, and my body does the break against the elbow. So as the punch comes in, as I come up off of this motion, and I'm striking and snapping the arm at the same time. Now from here, obviously I have a great sweep. I can do my legs behind her leg, and I can sweep her the leg out from under her. So I give you a little bit of a variation of what the snake can do, some of its principles. Using the fingertips to strike with, you can jab with 2 fingers, with 1 finger. The thumb is used. The thumb is a really good weapon. If you've never used the thumb before, and again, practicing how do we strengthen the fingers? Push-ups on the fingertips, push-ups on 2 fingers in the thumb, or 1 finger in the thumb. I used to sit, when I first started martial arts, I wanted to strengthen my fingers. I was sitting there watching television and just squeezing tennis balls and kept exercising my fingers. And then a hand grip exercise, sizer. Those of you who, like, I know Sensei Sean plays guitar, and they have a little tool that you can use to strengthen your fingers. I used to use one of those as well to strengthen my fingers. And one of the other 5 animals in our system is the tiger. And the tiger is known for its sinew, which is its ability to grab and seize. And it's used for seizing muscles on the arm or pressure points in the body. And that's how you would strengthen your fingers, so you'd have good sinew and good grip ability and be able to control or seize somebody's muscles and control them. All these little things that most kicking and punching styles, they don't concentrate on. But again, like what Sensei Kaos was saying earlier, as you get older and as your tastes change, your abilities change. I've studied a lot of other styles as well, going to a lot of the different seminars that Sensei Sean mentioned. And you learn and you keep an open mind and an open heart about that, and don't go into anything thinking that, you know, my style's the best, I don't need anything else, I have the one-all, no-all style. That's not the way it is in any martial arts. And that's why mixed martial arts is so popular nowadays, because the best fighters do what? They cross-train. And I encourage my students to cross-train. I encourage them to go to events like Saratoga Martial Arts event and so on and so forth, so that they can get a taste of the different types of styles that are out there. I don't know where I am for time, but I'd like to thank Sean again for inviting me to come in and be able to share some of the techniques that I have from the snake.
Thank you so much.
Learn something from it.
Master Dominic Violante, thank you for enlightening us to just a little taste of your experience. Oh, thank you, Master Dominic.
You're welcome.
My
assistant, my wife.
Just getting there. Thank you very much. Os. Before we wrap up, I just did want to ask you one thing, Master Dominic, because you have an extensive and still continuing career in law enforcement, correct?
Correct.
Right? Growing up for myself as a young boy, as a Kyokushin practitioner, which is still my heart and soul, so much of our training was about spirit and then tournament fighting. And when I moved down south, and I had trained with lots of different MMA fighters and different practitioners, and I trained with many martial artists in the South, that their approach to martial arts came strictly from law enforcement or military. And so I don't want to say their entire, but a big portion of what their approach to their training was very different than the upbringing I came up under. So I was just wondering, because I know you have an extensive background in traditional martial arts and law enforcement. And I'm wondering if you could maybe just expand a little bit on the bridge of how traditional martial arts has helped or maybe hindered or maybe both your law enforcement career.
So I originally started off, my martial arts allowed me to be an instructor in the academy back in the 80s and early 90s. And I would watch how they would train law enforcement. And law enforcement has a lot of different regulations that they're guided by. Like a law enforcement officer is not allowed to use his feet in a situation. They can't kick. They can knee. They can use some hand strikes and elbows if their life is depending on, especially if they're trying to protect their firearm. The gloves are kind of off, the rules are out the window when it comes to that. But in most cases, they can't kick. They can't use a lot of things that we use in traditional martial arts. Training has changed dramatically for law enforcement officers compared to what it was when I first started teaching in the academy. Defensive tactics are a lot different. They do a lot more ground fighting now. Training and weapon retention because of all the different tools on their tool belt, their baton and their taser and their firearms and so on and so forth. So they do, training is much different now than what it was when I first started. I go back over 30 years in law enforcement, so it's changed dramatically for the good. It's gotten a lot better.
Awesome. Well, it's a treat to have you, Master Dominic, and I'm happy to see you safe and your students safe and everything and, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to wrap up there. I will end up unmuting everybody in just a second so we can all hear each other say the same thing at the same time. That's a joke because we can't hear anything actually when it's all going on, but it feels good to connect that way. It is my humble honor and thanks to Shihan Monaco, my teacher, Shihan Callahan, a dear friend, Sensei Sato, another friend, Sensei Kalish, and Master Dominic Violante. Thank you for being with us tonight. Let me see how I do this, and then unmute all, and we can all have at it. We'll give each other minutes.
Had a Brady.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Wonderful
Sean.
session.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you.
Push. And Brady.
Awesome session. Awesome session. Anybody I forgot to mention, I apologize.
Thanks for putting this together, Sean. This is awesome.
Thank you, Sean.
My honor, Shihan. Thank you.